So let's talk about the next concept in your subsidiary books. I'd given you two questions as homework, which was related to sales return book and the sales book. We'll be discussing about that latter because those were quite straight and simple questions. Now I'll come ahead to the next part, that is the cash book, the last subsidiary book that we have to discuss about. Still after this, we can prepare the different kind of subsidiary books. We can prepare bills receivable book. We can prepare bills payable book. We can prepare any and every subsidiary book wherever the number of transactions increase, wherever there is a similarity of the transactions. In such all cases, we can prepare the subsidiary book and do the posting from the subsidiary book instead of the journal proper. However, today we'll be focusing on only the concept of cash book. So what is this cash book? In fact, all the subsidiary books that we have talked about till now, whether it is purchase book, sales book, purchase return book, sales return book, these all books are prepared in a statement form. You do not have the debit and credit to that particular purchase book or sales book or purchase return or sales return book if you would be observing. You prepared that in a simple statement form where there is only one amount column, or if there are multi columns, that is analytical subsidiary books. In that case, you'll be having a multiple amount column for the same kind of transaction. But when it comes to the cash book, we are expected to prepare that in the account form. Why? Because purchase is a one-sided transaction. Sales is a one-sided transaction. The purchase returns, the sales returns, these are related to goods, but the values of those change from point to point. And therefore, these are called as the one-sided transactions. And therefore, for that, we prepare only the subsidiary books in the statement from where we do the two postings. From each and every subsidiary book that we have talked about till now, whether it is purchase, sales, purchase return, or sales return, we have talked about two posting effect. One is debit posting effect and the other is credit posting effect. But when it comes to cash, when it comes to the bank transactions, in that case, the transactions are on two-way form. There are the continuous cash receipts, there are the continuous cash payments. And as there is a continuous receipt and payment of the cash, therefore it is expected we are supposed to prepare the cash book not in the statement form, but in the account format. So when I'm going to prepare the subsidiary book related to cash, I am not going to prepare that in statement form, but I'll be preparing that in the account form. That means my cash book will have the debit side as well as the credit side. So when I'm preparing the cash book in the account form by itself, all the cash and bank related transactions are going to be recorded in my cash book. That means my cash book is the book of prime entry, because whenever the transaction is entered into, at that time you record that. So it is a book of prime entry, and at the same time the part of the ledger as well. Now, why it is the part of ledger? Understand carefully. Because when I'm preparing the cash book in the account form, I can do the balancing of this cash book or not. And when I do the balancing of this cash book, I find the net balance on account of cash itself, on account of bank itself. So I need not prepare a separate cash account or the bank account. जब हम परचेज बुक की बात कर रहे थे तो हमने परचेज अकाउंट भी बनाया था और सप्लायर्स का भी अकाउंट बनाया था. जब हम सेल्स बुक की बात कर रहे थे, हमने डेटर्स के भी अकाउंट बनाए थे, हमने सेल्स के लिए भी अकाउंट अलग से बनाया था. But when I'm going to prepare the cash book, as I'm going to prepare my cash book in the account form, I am not going to prepare a separate cash account, because the cash book balance by itself will represent the account balance of cash or the account balance of bank. So that's the reason why from the cash book you will have only one posting effect. The transactions that you had recorded in your purchase book, you had two posting effects. One was to the debit and the other was to the credit. The transaction that you recorded in sales book was having two posting effects, but the transactions which I'm going to record in my cash book, I'll have only one posting effect for that. And why will I have only one posting effect? क्योंकि अगर मैं कैश या बैंक के लिए अलग से अकाउंट नहीं बना रहा हूं, इसका मतलब कैश रिलेटेड या बैंक रिलेटेड जो इफेक्ट है वो तो मेरे कैश बुक में ही कंप्लीट हो गया. And if the transactions effect related to cash or bank is completed within my cash book itself, I'm only supposed to give the second effect of the transaction or not. And therefore I said, from the cash book, you'll have only one posting effect. All the transactions which are recorded onto the debit side of cash book indicate that cash or bank is already debited. So from there, we will post the transaction only to the credit of respective account. Just imagine this as a situation. If cash received from Jumru, our beloved fellow, if cash received from Jumru is the transaction, I am going to record that in my cash book on to the debit side because debit what comes in. अब मैंने जैसे कैश बुक के डेबिट साइड में टू जुमरू कैश कॉलम में अमाउंट लिख दी, it simply indicates that cash account is debited. That means now I have to give only the second effect of that, that is Jumru account credit or not. So from cash book debit side, I'll go to the credit of Jumru account and I'll be writing by cash for the amount. Which means what? All the transactions which are recorded in the cash book debit side will be posted to the credit of respective account. All the transactions which are recorded onto the credit side will be posted to the debit of cash account. Now, there are certain businesses, I hope I'm going good for everyone. It is not like Chenab and Jhelum, which is just flowing and not stopping. You people are hearing to what I've been saying, and you people have been not only hearing but listening to what I'm saying. Because if you don't listen, you don't understand. जैसे तुम्हारे घर वाले तुमको बहुत कुछ बोलते रहते हैं और तुम लोग सिर्फ सुनते हो. वो दिन भर रो रहे होते हैं और तुम लोग सुन रहे होते हो. वो गाना है ना, सुन रहा है ना तू रो रहा हूं मैं. Alright, Abbas, I'll give the note on that, and then if you have question you can ask me. Well, anyways, so whatever transactions I've recorded onto the debit side indicate the debit effect is already over, will be posted to the credit of respective account, and whatever transactions have been recorded onto the credit side will be posted to the debit of respective account because the credit effect is already over. Am I right? So this was the basic of the cash book. In fact, the cash book depends on the preparation of cash book, depends upon the kind of transactions that you have. If you are only entering into cash transactions, you'll be preparing only cash book with cash column, with the amount column for only cash transactions. But if you're regularly having cash as well as bank transactions, you'll be having the column for cash as well as bank in your cash book itself. We can call that as the double column cash book. However, technically speaking, a double column cash book means the cash book with discount column. पर ये क्या होते हैं ये मैं बाद में वापस से एक्सप्लेन करता हूं. पहले आप कैश बुक का नोट लिख लो. लिखो कैश बुक. Are you people writing it? Yes. For all types of cash and bank related transactions, for all types of cash and bank related transactions, We prepare the cash book. Next point. As there are continuous cash and bank receipts, as there are continuous cash and bank receipts, as well as payments, receipts as well as payments, comma, the cash book is prepared in an account form. The cash book is prepared in an account form instead of the statement form. Instead of the statement form. Next point. As the cash book is prepared, as the cash book is prepared in an account form, in an account form, it is the part of ledger as well as it is the part of ledger as well as the book of prime entry. As well as the book of prime entry. Next point. The debit side of cash book represents cash receipts or deposits into a bank cash receipts or deposits into a bank whereas the credit side indicate cash payments or the withdrawals from bank. Cash payments or withdrawals from the bank. Yes, next one, write down. The cash book balance represents balance on account of cash, balance on account of cash or bank, the balance on account of cash or bank, comma. So when the cash book is prepared, so when the cash book is prepared, we do not prepare a separate cash or bank account. A separate cash or bank account. Full stop. Next point. As we have seen earlier, that subsidiary books normally have two posting effects, comma, from the cash book we have only one posting effect. We have only one posting effect. Next point. Transactions recorded onto the debit of cash book. Transactions recorded on debit of cash book will be posted to the credit of respective account and the transactions recorded onto the credit and transactions recorded on credit of cash book are posted to the debit of respective account. Are posted to the debit of respective account. Next point. Types of cash book. Types of cash book. Under that, A, single column cash book. Under that, when on the either side of the cash book, when on the either side of the cash book we have only one amount column, we have only one amount column, It is called as a single column cash book. It is called as a single column cash book. Next point. We do not record the bank or cash discount in a single column cash book we do not record the bank or discount transaction in a single column cash book, comma. So when single column cash book is prepared, the bank and discount transactions are recorded in the journal proper. Are recorded in the journal proper. I hope you're writing well and not drawing the well. Next one, write down B, double column cash book. Double column cash book. Technically speaking, a double column cash book means a cash book with discount column. Next point within that. So when double column cash book is prepared, on each side of the cash book, we have two amount columns. One representing cash and the other representing the discount. One representing the cash and other representing the discount. Next point. The discount column on the debit side represents discount allowed. The discount column on the debit side represents discount allowed. And the credit side of discount column represents discount received. And the credit side of discount column represents discount received. Next point. even though the cash column is balanced, even though the cash column is balanced, that is you take the balance between debit and credit, that is what we call as balancing, comma, the credit side of discount column, I'm sorry, the discount column is not balanced. The discount column is not balanced as the two discounts are different. As the two discounts are different. Next point, write down C. You do not see here and there. Write down C. Triple or multiple column cash book. Triple or multiple column cash book. When a cash book is prepared, with a separate amount column, for cash, comma, bank and discount, for cash, bank and discount, हाँ क्या पॉइंट लिखा तुम लोगों ने? नाविन्य, कैन यू टाइप इट फॉर मी?